Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's your boy, Mr. Alex versus Anthony himself. Welcome to another episode of Alex versus Anthony podcast. I got my brothers here with me. Got my man Devin, my man Avery, my man Diane. We gonna call this one Locker Room Talk. Fellas, what's going on?
What's up, brother?
Yo, everything good, man.
Listen, I need y'all to wind down. I need y'all to give me them answers y'all don't really want to give me. Nah, but for real, man, I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate y'all joining me in this one, man. You know what I'm saying? My heart behind this is, we want to give the world the perspective from our viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men, we don't talk. A lot of our ladies don't really know what it is, how we feel, how we really feel. Because sometimes we say a lot of things just to kind of pacify the moment. You know what I'm saying? And we just deal with a lot of things internally. But this is a platform where I feel like we could just say what we got to say. If they see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just hoping that, you know what I'm saying, we could be real with it today. So I'm going to just have y'all just pretty much to introduce yourselves by just saying your relationship status at the moment, if that's cool with y'all. Nigga saying, I don't know. Let me call her right quick and ask. Let me see.
If they see it,
I'm gonna start with the one on the phone. Where you at there, D?
Hold on, guys. Hey, babe, we still married?
Go ahead, man.
What you said, my name and my status, or just?
Yeah, just your.
Oh, okay, you said my name already.
Yeah, I said your name. How long you been in your relationship?
Okay. Yeah, we 13 years in the game. We married, and
13 years married?
No, 13 years together, but 10 years married.
Okay, dope.
You know what I'm saying? And we
kids?
Yeah, we got 2 kids, 2 boys.
Okay.
And I got a daughter from a previous relationship, but
okay.
We got 3 kids, but we got 2 boys out of the marriage, and 7 and 3. So
dope.
Pray for me.
Dope.
Pray for me.
No,
all right, Abe.
Yo, no kids, not married yet, so.
Eligible bachelor. That's what I'm talking about. Ladies. Cut it clear. That's it. No kids, no girl. What's up? Word.
All right, so go on.
Go ahead.
recently divorced. Probably divorced for about 2.5 years now. 2 kids out of that relationship, 7 and 5. And right now, I'm into another serious relationship. So that's where I'm at with it right now.
So, all right, cool. So when you say serious relationship, describe that for me, because, I mean, people's definition of serious relationship could be a number of different things. And you found it not robbery to say serious.
You better say serious.
I mean,
Nah, I said serious because I know how I feel about this one person.
okay.
And I feel like we've been exclusive to each other.
Okay.
So I'm really serious about like building on this relationship.
So the exclusivity is what, in your perspective, makes it a lot more serious than that of another relationship.
Definitely, because now all my focus is on like this one relationship.
Copy. Okay. Y'all want to pick? I saw you nodding your head over there.
Nah, I mean, I agree.
That's still all right.
That's what I think, people expect in a serious relationship, that there's exclusivity. That's almost like a prerequisite. I know, especially most women.
Correct.
If I had to guess, they would say, it ain't serious until
Right. We're
it's
exclusive. But I also know people that are exclusive sex partners.
This is true.
That's a fact, bro.
True too.
So if exclusivity is what defines a relationship,
A serious relationship.
a serious relationship.
What's the difference? What's the difference between
A relationship and a serious relationship?
Yeah. Because we all can think we
But
can
that's what the argument is right now.
True.
Because I know people that literally like, I'ma just sleep with you and you just gonna sleep with me. But you could go out on dates and you could do what you do, you know what I'm saying, and it just worked.
Yeah, nah, we're not doing that.
I mean, I'm not saying you doing that. I'm not saying you doing that. But if we saying
we had the conversation where, it's all about, We go out on dates. We do all of that together. Vacations, all of that.
Okay.
So it's not just.
So you pretty much married.
I guess if you want to call it like that.
Cause
Yeah.
that's pretty much what that is. Everybody else cut off.
I mean, that's like the foundation towards getting to that, I would say.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't call it married person.
Oh no, of course
You know
not.
what I'm
What's
saying?
the difference, bro?
There's a huge,
Yeah, so
huge
explain because
difference.
I didn't get to that point. Yeah.
It- you know, because trying to get to that point is, I think this is the perfect opportunity now to see if you guys have the foundational fortitude to actually have a secured marriage type relationship. Because if you're exclusive already to each other, then then that means boundaries have already been implemented. And what I would recommend is getting a good idea of what your expectations are for a marriage, not just for the relationship that you're in currently, but what y'all see and what y'all expect down the road. Because if y'all going to get married, and my wife will tell you the same thing. One of our biggest regrets was we never discussed expectation. And expectation, and we thought because we both were Christian and we both grew up in church and we both had grandparents
It was
that were
automatically
pastors,
just
that
gonna
we
work.
automatically
Yeah.
know what we expected, and we, you know what I'm saying, reality really rocked us and was like,
You know what's crazy? It's funny that you say that. I was talking to one of my coworkers today, and it was a female, and the conversation came up about like sex in relationships. We was talking about relationships in general, and she was saying how like in her current relationship, she her partner likes sex a lot. But it's not that she's not attracted to her partner or that she doesn't want to be with her partner, but she just naturally doesn't like to have sex a lot. So she was like, would I had that conversation prior to, we could have been compatible in so many other ways, but we probably not compatible sexually. Now, I don't want to jump into the sex conversation just yet, but it just brought me to that story, because a lot of times we get into relationships because of the feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yo, shorty bad. Oh, he look good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She make me feel good. She could cook. She could do this, that, and the third. But we don't think future. We don't think, can she really raise my kids? Can she really, you know what I mean, hold down my finances? Is she not going to spend on my bread? Is she, you know what I'm saying? So those conversations are conversations that we skip by. Like you said, we don't really talk about the latter. We just get consumed with the now.
Also, man, I think some of the things that happen is like you gotta also get back into the upbringing of that particular person.
Correct.
I always had issues, because it varies. Like, I was in a serious relationship. I thought I was gonna be married. Now, just being transparent, what is, you know what I'm saying? After my pops passed, we got into some crazy stuff going on, and then we was incompatible. You know what I'm saying? At that point, which I thought we were going to be. So a lot of times, but certain things started coming out. Our upbringing was totally different. You know what I'm saying? And where I view relationship-wise, serious relationships, and certain things that was important to me wasn't important to her. So up until a certain point, it didn't come to the forefront until we hit those hard times. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when certain things came out too. So I don't know if it was just that she changed or I changed or whatever, or it was just something that we just kind of overlooked.
I don't even think it's that. Probably neither one of y'all changed. I heard somebody say one time, don't marry somebody until you've seen them in all 4 seasons.
That's a fact. Yeah, too. Yeah.
So like you could have seen them in winter, spring, and fall, but you know what I mean, you never seen them in the summertime.
Yeah.
And I don't mean literally the seasons. I'm talking about have you seen them mad, happy, and hard 100%. Times? Like I also read another quote that said, don't marry the person unless you could imagine them sitting next to you when your mom passed.
Facts.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's somebody that you know gonna be with you through the thick and the thin, like you might have to test that out.
Part of the issue, like even if you want to get into like the Christianity aspect of it and church,
that's not that things, Corona, right?
Like, nah.
You can't be coughing. You can't be coughing nowadays, my dude.
You're worried. You're like,
I'm about to tell you, put your mask on, nigga. I'm about to tell him put his mask on real quick.
I'm only saying,
my man started giving out cough drops like, as the way we grew up, our background, one of the first things that they told us, like, yo, you got this thing. Marriage is the ultimate goal.
Facts.
Like, yo, you want to have, let's be real, you want to have sex. We ain't getting into that, but yo, do it right. Get married. And they started bringing us up in that, you know, before we even knew who we were. So we got hooked up into situations, and this was already in our mind. And then we got caught up in these situations, and we didn't even know who we are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now you got to redo those things, and you got to see who you are. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, we were told marriage is it, but we weren't shown how to get there.
100%.
Because like I had spoke about in the previous episode, is like little girls are groomed in this from day one. They play with dolls, it's Ken and Barbie.
Yeah.
They feeding the baby. Oh, bring the baby the stroller. Like, it's family oriented when it comes to females. What they teach us? Nigga, don't cry. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and play sports. Be tough. Get money. Like, none of that got really nothing to do with family. Because at the end of the day, your lady don't just want your money. At the end of the day, she wants you to be emotionally connected. But nobody really teaches that. Teaches us that.
And that's the problem, man.
In my situation, also faith-based background, I was married at 24. I should have never been married at 24.
Trust me, I was married at 22. I know what the deal is.
You know, like Avery said, I was just trying to be a legal eagle. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I was immature.
Right.
So I don't think it was even fair to her to say, okay, he's gonna lead this family.
Right.
And I really couldn't even lead myself.
Right. Now, to piggyback on that, now, do you think that would you had waited,
Definitely.
the
Without
marriage
question.
would have been more successful? Or would you had been made aware of this really isn't?
I wouldn't even pick that person. Because with maturity, you start to see, okay, it's not just about sex. Sex can't pay the bills.
Right.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? You can have great sex.
Facts.
And Con Ed, National
Facts.
Guard, it's not
Facts.
going to pay none of that.
Facts, 'cause we can
And
still
not
have
that
sex
it's
in the
just-
dark.
Not that it's just about money, but you have to look at a whole, you know, there's more elements to you than just your, you know, sexual gratification.
Facts. Yeah, and I say that all the time, man. Like, would I had not gotten married so young, I don't really know the outcome of how it would have worked out.
Right.
But like you said, I didn't even know myself, dog. Like, I didn't even know what I liked, what I didn't like. I was learning it while learning how to be a husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think part of that also though is we gotta also, you know, be cognizant of the times in which the era that we in.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Like we, you know, I know for me personally, my pops passed when I was 6 years old, so I didn't really get to experience that marriage relationship between him and my mom.
Right.
They had, you know, from what my mom told me, they had a good marriage base or whatever the case is. Even though they had their issues here and there, but they had a good structure. I didn't experience that, so I had to kind of look at my grandparents' marriage and watch how they operated. And so because of that era, you know, I watched my grandmother really like cater to my grandfather, make sure that he was good, make sure, you know, he had food, make sure she took care of the house.
That ain't the world we live in
And
anymore.
so, and at that time, not knowing that, you know, she made a lot of sacrifices to basically sideline her aspirations and dreams of being a teacher and things that she wanted to really do for the life of taking care of him as he provided for the house and did what he did. And so me watching that, I'm thinking, when it's my turn, boom, I gotta get a good job, take care of my family, take care of my wife, so she could just take care of the crib, take care of the kids, take care of me.
She over here leveling up with you.
And so what happened with me was I connected with a very independent woman who had everything going for herself. Like, I wasn't necessarily needed per se for any of those things other than emotional, spiritual, in some ways mental support. Like, it wasn't necessarily I needed to be a savior. I just needed to be an addition. And I needed to be a positive reinforcement. But that wasn't reality. I thought it was supposed to be something else, and that's where the clash came. Mostly we clashed on our ideologies of marriage.
That's what it is.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so sometimes the era and the age that we at and the way we view what it's supposed to be, perception and reality is
Totally different. And at least you were still lucky enough to at least have some type of marriage figure. Because a lot of us, I didn't have my grandparent. My grandfather died when I was 90. When I was 4, he was 96. I grew up with my mom. So my idea of home was me and my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't until she got married later on that but I was already my mind was already made up on what this whole house thing was supposed to look like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I grew up thinking, yo, you go out there, you grind, you just grind to make money, so I could take Mom Dukes out the hood.
Yeah. No, that's what it is.
That was it. Like that was my mind. That was my mindset growing up. I'm gonna make it to the league, and I'm gonna take Mom Dukes out the hood.
I think that's all of our
Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never thought, you're gonna get married and you're gonna have kids, and you know what I mean. The wife does this for the husband, and I didn't see that growing
I
up.
was fortunate enough. My mom's pops was married 52 years, bro.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? So that's also to piggyback off what you said. I saw that in the home. You know what I'm saying? My pops would go to work. Mom Dukes would stay home, take care of the kids, do whatever. But when you get in the real world, so to speak, and looking for that, that's a totally different. Because if you, especially if you're dating someone that didn't have that in the home.
Correct.
If you see mom doing everything and pops ain't there, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna start clashing, you know? And that was part of the reason postponed me from getting married, because I was like, you know what? If I want to do it just this one time. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like when I had a kid, I want everybody under the same, because that's what I saw. Right. That's what I experienced from Pops, Dukes, and Mom. You know what I mean? Yeah. I ain't have to worry about Christmas with his Pops. I ain't have to worry about Christmas with his mom. You know what I mean? So that's my perspective. It may not be everyone else's perspective. And this is why you have to really engage in these conversations beforehand. You know.
So my question to y'all is this, and anyone of y'all can speak. Do y'all think that the old-fashioned way of marriage is a more successful way than that of the new age era of the independent woman and everybody goes out to work? And then it's just, I'm just asking because let me finish. Yeah. I'm only asking this because you ready to go. That's your cue. Listen.
So you know what, man?
You're calling me back.
Am I allowed to answer
this is why I asked. This is why I asked, because
it's a great question.
56 years.
Yeah, 56 years.
It worked. Grandma and grandpops. How many years?
Yeah, they pushing like 60 something.
Yeah.
It worked.
But you know,
now if you compare marriages from back then to the marriages of now, how many years you was married?
9 years.
6 years. Yeah. 56 years.
Yeah.
Pushing 60.
Yeah.
Something is different. Something is different.
You know what? Talking to Mom Dukes, and number one, they were brought up in a different time.
Yeah.
You know, that's number one. The era, they had different models. You know what I'm saying? I think part of the issue today, honestly, and this is not throwing slide on nobody, is that we don't have enough models. Whatever, something went wrong in our generations coming up, you know what I'm saying? Where that was like, yo, I'm not taking this. I'm not doing this. Yo, we ain't got to do this. It's a quick, fast, instantaneous, quick fix. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I can't say it was better, but I will say that there were more, the norms were different. You know what I'm saying? It was the norm. And not saying that even though they stayed together, they didn't have bad times. And not saying that they didn't have difficult times, but the mindset was different. The era was different. It was, dude, it wasn't cool to get divorced back then.
Right, and that's
also opportunity was different.
True, 100%.
What has to be implemented in that concept is that the need for the man was different.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
There was a need before.
Yeah. Correct.
And I think most of those long-lasting relationships that happened then was based out of need more than out of necessarily.
But it's still a need, bro. It's, you know why? It's still.
I agree.
It's still,
but that's not necessarily.
That's not what being emphasized. I get it.
That's not the defining factor now. And if you look at what's on TV and everything, if you watch all the shows that's coming out, all the infidelity, all the different. Everything is geared towards independence of a man. Like you don't need a man. Empowerment. The woman empowerment movement is very good for confidence.
Yeah.
And it's very good for awareness. But what it is also the side part to that is it's also damaging a little bit to the psyche, to the mental psyche,
to the family structure.
That's what it is.
So there's a lot of different factors. You got mass incarceration that took a lot of fathers out of play.
Drugs.
You know what I'm saying? Drugs took a lot of fathers, took a lot of men out of play. And then you had women movements in which women were able to now receive jobs and different things like that empowered the woman to kind of basically be okay.
So my question to you is, do you think that it should be that the woman needs us?
I think that's a very loaded question. I think because everybody views need different.
Right? No, I get it. But I'm asking you.
But if you have a strong woman, she'll tell you she needs you. You know, she's not. That's why it's so important.
She's not intimidated. By
that's what it
right.
is.
And the need. You ain't talking a while, bro. Go ahead. I got you. Go ahead. He in a serious relationship.
She like this. You better speak up, bro.
Where we airing that again? No, but I think the basis of that is communication. Basically, back in the day, and now the women are definitely different, just like Dial said. And sometimes, we see these number of years, and no knock to anybody, but just because they were together doesn't mean that the relationship was healthy.
True. That they
That's
were
a
happy.
fact. That's a fact.
Correct.
Or that they were
Correct.
happy.
Correct.
Okay,
That's huge.
Correct.
And then now, now this era is like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll come home and their stuff is gone.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
By the way.
Oh, your stuff gone. That's what happened to me. Anyways, go ahead.
Your stuff is on the steps. It was like,
Andre was outside.
So I think it's hard to compare the two.
Yeah. Right.
I think it's just a different mindset and perception of, how the women are actually thinking and moving about.
So how do we as men in this generation go forth and teach our kids? Because, you know what I'm saying, we were blessed to see the grandparents and the successful mother and father relationships.
Right.
This generation kind of, like you said, don't have any models.
Yeah,
really and truly. It's not, they got Cardi B and Offset.
Yeah,
they
bro,
got, you know what I'm saying?
Relationship
Goes from social media and
It's true, man.
they don't really have anybody to really look at. So how do we as men in this generation raise up? You said you got 2 boys.
Yeah.
I got
one boy.
One boy and a girl. So at the end of the day, you still want your little girl to view a man in a certain way and expect a certain thing from a man. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I feel like it's my responsibility for my daughter just to treat her as I would want, a man to treat her.
Correct.
So, when she's growing up or it's time for her to date, she shouldn't just be going to a nice restaurant with a next guy or whatever, some other guy that she just want to talk to. She should be like, okay, my dad did that before.
Facts.
So she'll have a certain expectation.
You better fly me in, dude, because my dad did this already.
Expectation that she, not any Joe Schmo is just gonna come up to her and try to impress her.
And that's what I think. That's where I think a lot of our girls are being lost, because these little scammer dudes, they flaunt a little money.
That's it.
They got a nice car and it's over.
That's why you need the pops. That's why you need the father. That's why the father is so important. So the
But
mom can't show.
But how do we change the dynamic? Because the fathers ain't there.
But they have.
But that's the issue.
The importance has to be put back on the man.
You can't really expect a generation of young men that are misguided because of the lack of a father to now automatically, because they have a child.
But then the cycle is going to continue, because they ain't teach me, so I can't teach you. And since I ain't teach you, you can't teach them.
It will. And here's the problem with that: the fact that you and I,
no corona,
we might have children that we're raising to be aware and to know and to do better and this and the third, but we're putting them in a pool of a bunch of other young people who don't have that.
Right.
And now they're the exception.
And that's
we
why
gotta pray that they find each other.
That's why you hear people. That's why you hear people say it's so hard to date nowadays, or something, because the ideologies are different. So when you're going into a world full of sharks and you're a dolphin, it's like, where the other dolphins at? Like,
exactly.
These dudes is out here to kill me.
Yeah, but it can be done. You know why? Because again, and I talk about my pops a lot, because I was so blessed to have my pops.
Indeed.
In my life, you know what I mean? Like, my pops, his father died, got murdered when he was 2 weeks old, bro. So he didn't have a father. At all, B. Right. You know what I'm saying? Came up here, raised a family. Again, he wasn't perfect, and I said at the funeral, he wasn't perfect, but he was present. And I think that's what's missing
and
these
consistent.
days, consistently present, bro.
Correct.
And the first formula to that is we have to get the desire to want to be in our kid's life.
Right.
Me personally, bro, like, and this is what, you know, kept me from putting myself in certain situations. And again, it's not no slight to anybody, you know what I mean? Me being fortunate enough to have that, I couldn't see myself not being in that household. You did? Yeah. Anything can happen.
My nigga said, I gotta work on my pull-out
You know
game.
what I mean?
Cause if it ain't staying,
Listen. This is what I will
nigga
say.
said, whoa.
Hold up. Let me touch on that though. Let me touch on that because this is to piggyback that. Here's a dynamic though. I don't think any dude goes into that situation expecting to not be.
Yeah.
Real talk, I used to think the same thing.
Mind you, when I had my daughter, you know, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was in college and, you know, I'm young. I don't know what I'm doing. But we had our daughter. And so the first thing I did was I jumped into family mode. I said, you know what? All right, I gotta find a way to make this. I gotta solidify this. I gotta make this solid.
And there's dudes that do the complete opposite though.
Because of my Christian, but that's you see what I'm saying? All right, even on this podcast, we're dealing with a different caliber of dude. This is not the average dude that's talking.
This ain't it ain't the average dude.
All right, whoever's watching, we are not average guys. So we can't really speak on behalf of the average Joes because all of us have some spiritual awareness. And some
but
Christian
don't get it
values.
wrong that spirituality is what makes you.
That's why I put it out there because I've heard too many dudes that came and be like, yo, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm coming in there and I'm just, yo, whatever happened to. I'm like, bro, I don't get
because
that.
at the end of the day, fear drives you to do two things: run
Fight or flight.
fight.
Yeah.
Fight or flight.
And at that moment, when you got the news that she was pregnant, you chose to fight.
Yeah.
You didn't run from the
Right.
situation.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I don't mean fight as in like you was the best dad.
No.
But you said I'm gonna be
fact.
present.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna let my daughter.
Yeah,
You
gonna
dig?
be- yeah.
I know dudes that, I know females that have dealt with dudes. It's like you what? Deuce is gone.
That's what I-
Ghost.
But now, hold up. This is what I wanted to say on that.
Okay.
Even though I made the decision to try to fight and try to see if I can make this work, I knew that we didn't necessarily have the ingredients of a healthy relationship, right? I knew I wasn't ready,
Right.
and I knew that I was still, you know, in and out of my.
You wasn't in a serious relationship.
I wasn't in a serious relationship,
Got it.
and I knew she wasn't ready, you know, because we had two different perspectives on what we wanted out of life. You know, clubs and partying and stuff, that was kind of her thing. And church and stuff was kind of my thing. So we kind of didn't really
But she
mesh.
looked good and it was rocking.
All of that. But for the long haul, I would have did more of a disservice to our daughter to stay to have her grow up in a situation where we were feuding.
Dysfunctional
and all she
relationship.
would see is
Right,
that.
right,
And that's not healthy because we're dealing in our generation. We're dealing with a lot of broken women.
100%.
Right.
And women are dealing with a lot of broken men.
Right.
And that's why we're having a
100%.
an influx of broken relationships.
Right.
And
we got broken kids.
and it's a
it's not a slight to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, for me, that's just what I was fortunate enough to see. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, you a stand-up dude. You know what I mean? You still have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you, like, we already know you got females. Yo, we have people that go out. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because, dude, you know, we have people, and I just don't get that. Like, you know what I mean?
Shooting recklessly,
Like, you already know what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? You coming out there with the intentions to do. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. That's where the problem. That's a different. That's what I'm talking. That's the difference. Not yo, you got caught up because we all could. Yo, it's only God. I ain't get caught. You dig what I'm saying? Like, let's just put it out there. You know what I mean? Like, yo, let's just keep it up.
So I thought your pull-out game was on 1,000 here.
Yo, let's keep it a buck. You know what I mean? We being real, right? So, but that's what I'm saying. When you come in knowing what you're getting into, and you got that, and now the kids gotta suffer. That's where the issues, and we see it all day. You know what I mean?
I think they could suffer in a myriad of different ways. Like they can suffer with you leaving, but they can also suffer with you staying.
So right, that's big because we can affect them by you being not in the household because you don't have to be in the household to be present.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, 100%.
And I know you can attest to that because
honestly, like with the whole situation, just going back a little bit. On my block growing up, my parents were the only ones that was together with all my friends. So I feel like as, you know, good upstanding dudes, it's our job to you're not gonna change the world, but you
same.
can, you know,
Yeah.
just the people that you come in contact with,
Yes.
them kids that you come in contact with that don't have nobody, you supposed
That
to
is
be
true,
bringing them
too.
in.
Yep,
You know what I'm
100%,
saying?
yeah.
They could, you know, the kids on my block, they always could come to my crib like, oh, yo, Mr. Diggs,
Yeah.
he got us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they saw some kind of like fatherhood figure in him.
Yeah,
Yeah, it mean
You know
a
what
lot,
I'm saying?
man.
And it meant a lot. But even in my previous relationship, when things got bad, I was living on a separate floor from, you know, my family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
So my kids are seeing, okay, mommy's upstairs, daddy's staying down here. That's not healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was doing them a disservice,
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
I was still in the
Right.
relationship. I was doing them a disservice of like, okay, yo, there's no togetherness at all.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about the psychological aspect, because if you're in a relationship and you unhappy, and your kids got to deal with you upset or unhappy, because there's all right, in relationships, right? If you make the mistake of making your spouse your source of happiness, you run the risk of being extremely disappointed,
Right.
because happiness has to come from within. I tell people this: your joy is your job.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you are happy with you, and that person enhances that or adds to it. But if that person is the source, the minute they decide to do something contrary to what your expectation says should be
It throws everything.
it throws the whole system off, because now you're looking at your kids, get away from them. Yo, just leave me alone, because you annoy, you're aggravated, you're mad, and you don't realize as fathers, that throws that changes the whole spirit of the house is shifted when we are not in line and because we the head of the house, according to the scriptures, man, we in tune. So if God is trusting us to lead our family and we unhappy, where we leading them? We leading them
Yeah, man. That's
into unhappiness.
So we started off this. We done went all over the place.
Yeah.
But we started this off by asking. I asked you,
Yeah.
do you feel that women should need us?
Oh yeah.
Right. Now I'm gonna reverse it. Do you think that we should need our lady?
absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. Yo, let me tell you. No, I don't know. Not that. He's like, I'm gonna flip it on you. Not that I think it's deep. Do we need them? No, not that I think it's deep. But really and truly, if you really analyze outside of sex, outside of sex, do you think that in a relationship you really need outside of sex and kids for
procreation
for this right now? Do we really need the woman?
Yo, I ain't even married. I definitely, because you need that support system. Like a lady can give you that support and give you that drive, and not saying that the happiness aspect, but yo, you know how it is, bro. Like, we are creatures that need that push. You come on, man. You was on the ball court, bro. You see the shorty looking at you.
You playing harder. I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
And imagine getting someone you feel like, yo, if you got a good lady at home, yo, you feel like you can fly, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So to answer that question, I would say yes, man, because we have especially as African American men, yo, we got so many obstacles that we got to go against in the world. You know what I'm saying? Just so many things that we got to deal with. So many, all type of stuff. So if you have that one person at home that you feel like got your back 100%, yo, you feel like you got a whole army, bro.
So we all agree that we do.
Yeah.
So why is it that most women complain that men don't show their appreciation towards them outside of the bedroom?
Because I feel like as men, we don't really dig into it.
He took a deep breath on that one. Yeah, bro.
To go to intermission. I feel like we don't really investigate, our our ladies' love languages.
Investigate.
Yeah, bro.
Our love languages. We don't really dig in like that.
Right.
I
We just
heard that a
outside
couple
of sex and whatever,
Yeah.
and we'll throw a bag or something like that. It might not even be a bag that she wants.
Yo.
And she might not even be a materialistic type of person.
Exactly. So you just wasted money.
Facts.
And you thinking you did something, and then
Facts.
you like, oh yeah, we good. And then somebody asks her, and she's like, nah, you know,
Yeah.
you're getting on my nerves. Or,
Right.
Be like,
Right.
yo, bro, I just bought her
Yeah.
a bag.
Right.
What are you
You know
talking
what's
about? We
crazy?
good.
You know what's crazy? Love language, right? You brought up love language.
Yeah.
The way love language works is when you master speaking the language that they understand, not when you master your language.
Correct.
Exactly.
I think we take so much time mastering our language.
Correct.
That we only know how to speak one language.
Correct.
You got to become bilingual in this thing.
Correct.
Because you got to be able to understand how they perceive love, and then you got to be willing to do the work to give them what they need.
And not on-
and then,
That's a
and then
fact,
you,
yeah.
and now here's the kicker though. Here's the kicker. You got to be willing to do that, even if you don't get
risk
that
it.
language
Yeah,
back
yeah, bro.
in return.
Because the thing is this, people receive love one way and they give love a completely different way.
that's- Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not only about, all right, I'm gonna do it your way, but then what you giving me, I gotta receive. Like it's
bro.
you literally investigators. I said investigate because you literally got to do some investigation.
Yeah, facts, bro.
You got to break this joint down because I might receive how you show me love one way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I'm returning it to you, it's coming totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. We just hit on that.
No, it's facts.
Yeah, it
man,
is.
'cause,
It
you
is
know,
a
if they're
big
not
fact,
speaking
bro.
the language that you identify with or that you're comfortable with, it's gonna go on. It's not gonna be received the right way, and you're gonna always feel shorted. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna feel like, yo, I did this, and I know this is your language because I studied it.
Right.
But now, when I'm telling you what my language is, why are you neglecting that? Why aren't you? What
But yo,
happened?
let's keep it as fellas, bro. This ain't the talk that we normally have. You know,
It
ain't.
you know what type of talk we had? Word, all right. If we gonna move to the next one, yo, you ain't with it, we gonna go to the next one. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you quote unquote have options because of the position that you in. You know what I mean? This type of language comes at the whole lot of L's.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
So
like,
time, huh?
yeah. Dude, like you gotta get that like love. You like love language before you like love what? Love what? I don't want to hear that.
So my question is this: do we gotta catch all these L's in order to get there?
Conversation, bro.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like a lot of us, we don't really dig into that communication.
That's
You know, like
huge.
That's what.
Yeah.
if I know what questions to ask, then I know how to love you. You know what I'm saying? And like, I feel like I'm doing all these things and you're not receiving it. It's like, yo,
That's deep that you said if I know what questions to ask because I feel like we do ask questions.
Yeah,
Right.
you do the wrong ones.
Yeah.
The wrong one. We ask the surface questions.
Yeah.
That's like, why you mad?
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to go wash the dishes? I'm gonna go wash the dishes.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Right,
that's
it ain't
not. That's
it's bigger
surface.
than the
Yeah.
dishes.
That's real surface. You know what I'm saying? We real like at the moment type of people. Like men, we're like, I'm gonna end this right now, right here. Like,
Bro, we not taught. We taught what? Not to cry.
Facts.
Yo, you ain't supposed to be crying over no chick. That's come on. Like yo, why you crying over it, bro? You gonna
Facts.
smash 20 other chicks.
Facts.
That's
That's a
just what
fact.
it is.
That's a fact.
So yo, you be like yo, I'm real hurt. You can't tell a dude that way. Yo, say yo, you know, like nigga, come on. Yo, you tell a dude, yo, I'm real hurt. Nigga, what yo, I'm hurt.
But you know what?
And you gotta go somewhere in the corner and be like, yo,
it's
what's wrong with you, yo,
it's a
man?
new
Yo,
day.
I'm cool right now. You know what I mean?
Facts.
That's something that we ain't built. Come on,
that's
we know what it is, bro. Like yo, she hurt me. She what? Come on, bro. You got we got to get past that. You know, dudes ain't having these type of conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, we dudes are because we doing.
Well,
So the thing is, you going to the wrong dudes. You got to go to people that you can be transparent with, and you got to also go to people that you can trust with this information. Because we make the mistake of running to dudes who we want to hear bad information from. Because think about it, we know who to go to when we want to do something wrong. You know who to holler at
That's
if
a
you want
fact.
to make a dumb decision.
That's a
And then
fact.
you also know who to holler at if you want
some good advice.
some real solid
Right.
advice. The thing is, we can't be naive and we can't be foolish to think that people don't see that we know better. Like
definitely.
who you're with knows who the good people in your circle is and who the bad people. My wife knows. Where if I say I spoke to so and so, she knows I probably got bad info.
But that's
If I
at
s-
this point,
you know,
bro.
yeah.
Like, let's talk about from the music aspect. You know what I'm saying? Coming up in the music game. We ain't saying no names. Yo, you the young dude on that scene. It ain't too many dudes that's gonna lead you in the right way. You know what I'm getting? You know what I
I
mean?
got you.
Like
Yeah.
they like yo. You can't be like, yo, I'm trying to just chill with shorty and try to build on that. They like, yo, you better.
They like, how old are you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the first question. How old are you?
That's what I'm getting at.
Why
Like,
you gotta be serious right now,
that's what I'm
bro?
getting at. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and if you build up in that those are all the things that you gotta get away from. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it takes time. So I feel like L's is a part of the process.
I'm not saying that it's not part of the process because the biggest success come from failures.
Yeah, but you got. But then, like now, getting to what Dial was saying. At some point in the time, yo, you know better. Like you already know you shouldn't. You just gotta. That's just man. You don't even need nobody to tell you about. Like you, come on, yo, bro. If you know you going in, you making that phone call this time, you already know what it is, bro.
Yeah, there's something like intentional.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
can't be taking intentional.
Yeah.
It's like I know I'm gonna lose, but I'm gonna go and set myself up for this. Like,
I mean, we saying it like that's not what we do on the regular though. Like,
I mean, but then you gotta see. Then we have to be able to deal with the consequence after that. That's where we get. It's like, yo, we know we're gonna make the decision. Can we deal with the consequence?
Yeah.
And the problem is that it sound good right now when we having a conversation.
When you in it, you.
But
like,
when you headstrong, and when I mean headstrong, I mean headstrong.
Yeah.
You like, oh man.
You ain't trying to hear positive or good. You're not trying to hear that.
Yo, bro, you talking to the choir?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nigga, this is what we doing. This is what we doing.
Yeah.
You don't make that phone call on purpose. You don't go this route because you might see your moms or you might see somebody who gonna throw you off because you focus.
But that's the realness of it, bro. Like that's just where it's at. You know what I mean? And that's why we having this conversation right now.
So now that we there, do you believe? And I need y'all.
Oh, here we
He's
go.
starting to laugh.
There we go.
Let me get serious.
This nigga ready?
You be like, wait a minute, I got a point.
Do you believe? Now, ladies in these relationships,
here we go.
Please don't judge by what it said on this podcast.
I'm trying to get to this dude.
Right?
He's
in a serious relationship.
You ain't gonna get.
I'm talking about prior to the serious relationship, and he's been good. How long you been together now?
13.
13 years. He's been good.
13.
Nah, but do you believe? Because I hear women say it all the time. All men cheat. All men are dogs.
Nah.
Do you believe that there's a possibility that we as men can be in a relationship and be completely, and I would just say this, sexually faithful? Because there's a lot of different ways to cheat.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm going to say sexually faithful because usually that's where most men struggle in.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that men could be sexually faithful in one relationship for 56 years, 60 years? Now, granted, I'm not saying that, and no disrespect to your parents or your grandparents.
Yeah.
We don't know whether or not.
That's a fact. Yeah,
We don't know whether or not somebody's.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for the lack of this discussion, do you believe that a man could be faithful? And we leaving religion out, we leaving faith out, just on some, because not everybody is Christian, not everybody has the same faith that we do.
100%.
But if you leave that out, then the answer is definitely no.
You think so?
If you leave faith out, then you leaving it up to being natural. You get what I'm saying? Like,
so you think
you can't?
That was a good answer.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with that.
If you leave, because you gotta be mindful of how strong faith is. Like religious views have moved mountains literally.
True.
Like religious views have altered the trajectory of the scope of the world.
Right.
Like people have conquered nations in the guise of religion. Like religion is a huge driving force.
yeah,
People's
but remember, religions are
Just repetition.
are numerous.
They are.
Yeah.
And, we're not
Beliefs
saying
are numerous.
Yeah, we're not saying which one is the standard, but we're saying when you void that factor and you say without that being a factor.
But in some beliefs and some religions, you're allowed to have multiple women.
They're not.
So that's not what we're talking about. We're talking because in
a man nature. That's
in saying that, you're saying that without spirituality, you lack the ability to do good, which is not right.
You said without spirituality.
Without some type of spirituality, you lack the ability to do good.
I didn't say that. I don't agree with that. Because that's saying that that's saying that your natural inclination is, well, that's saying based on what you're saying, how you saying I'm saying that. Not confusing right now. Because I'm trying to think.
No, because the only reason I said that, and let me clarify, because the only reason,
and that's not what I'm saying.
but the only reason, so you mean
talking about?
So you're saying that when it concerns sex, only concerning sex can you do good all the time.
You said with one person.
With one
right?
person, you can only do that
Yeah.
with some type of spiritual guidance.
Maybe that's because maybe he's saying that because that's we are
I'm saying based
fortunate
on the
enough.
natural inclination of man, the primitive nature of man is to conquer and to have multiple. Like we're not designed, I think, primitively and naturally to be.
He disagreed. I ain't even say
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Listen,
That's what I'm saying.
I think we're not designed.
I'm on the
You know,
fence.
You just stay quiet.
you know, natural. Yeah,
You in the
said-
serious relationship. Stay quiet.
Hey, I don't think mentally men are designed to be monogamous. I think monogamy was forced on us through societal norms and things of that nature. Because when we look back at history and our ancestors, and no matter how far back you want to go into Africa, they all had multiple wives, and I do believe that there is a reason for that, and I think there was an imbalance that was created when we adopted the Western civilization's sense of norm for relationships. Now,
I'll let you go first before I answer.
I agree with what you're saying that the men have a certain instinct of having the desires, but I do feel that a man can withstand with just one woman.
Okay.
I do, and this is for me. You know what?
wait, I'm getting a call from the wife. Honey,
Hey, yo, my man said it's getting hot in here.
I mean, I want to answer this, bro. You ain't want to. And the reason is, it's like, yo, but it could be. It depends on what drives you, what keeps you. If it could be something as simple as this. If you feel like the lady's being faithful to you, let's keep it on the bump on this. Like, all right, you know what? It could just be that one thing. I got to be faithful to her. It could be. I think it's an individual thing. You know what I mean?
And then certain men don't even struggle with that. To be honest with
That's what
you,
I'm saying. I think that's why I say I think it's
certain
an
men don't
individual
even
thing.
have that lustful
Yeah, they're
drive
just
to
happy.
have.
I know,
They just
bro.
happy being with one woman.
I know.
here's the thing. Why is that coined a lustful drive? Why is that? See, because now we're not talking about religion or beliefs, right? So why is the desire for, multiple wives or whatever the case is, why is that deemed lustful when that's natural in some people's makeup? If that's embedded or that's encoded in some people's design, because that's how they view life should be. Why would we then
So what
label
would you
it
call
as
it
lust?
other than lust? Because I'm not saying lust in a spiritual
I'm
way,
just saying.
but it's
you
just
said-
what it
You
is.
said multiple
well,
wives.
Multiple wives. We're talking.
I wouldn't even want. If
Yeah,
I
well,
could,
know what you know.
I wouldn't even want multiple wives.
Yo,
That's hard with one.
That's a
It's
fact.
hard enough dealing with one.
That's
Like,
a
now
fact.
I can have sex with
But the
multiple-
people who have multiple wives don't really deal with the multiple wives
Exactly.
the way we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a science to this.
It's like
They're not
property to
fighting
them.
for
There's a
attention,
science
yeah.
to like. There's African culture that teaches a science on this.
This man really want multiple wives.
No. This is
Research.
research. Hey, we ain't talking about me. We
Yeah,
talking
word.
about- we
Like,
talking
hey, let's get
about-
that
Listen
straight,
to me. The problem is that this conversation can't even be had amongst our culture today without it being an argument versus it being informative.
True.
Correct.
That's because both parties are not even willing to even. You
open-minded.
mention that to a
Entertain, yeah.
woman now, she's gonna be like, "Oh please, no way, no siree. If I ain't enough, then I'm out." And that's what
Right,
it is.
right.
And the reality is, men produce million sperm, right? In one shot. Over 1 million sperm. Women produce 1 egg. That means 3 of us can impregnate the entire world in 1 week. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because that one woman is supposed to really be able to control and maintain all of that energy that a man has. If you can release 1 million sperm, right? 1 million sperm by yourself. That one woman is supposed to be able to be the source of everything you need sexually. And most relationships, that is not fulfilling because she is not up to your standard of drive. And let's just be honest. Women will be like, my dude. Well, unless you get lucky.
But you know what?
And that sounds good. Listen, that sounds good because y'all gotta be safe. But the reality is,
Right, yeah.
Nigga, you gotta be more safe than any one of us here.
no. See,
Yeah,
transparency and being honest. I'm not talking about my lady. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about in
the
general. I'm
general.
giving-
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, my lady. I ain't talking about my lady.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah,
what I'm
facts,
saying is the variety, the majority, especially because I talk to a lot of married men because I'm married. So I
Yeah,
talk to a lot of
facts,
dudes, and the consensus is normally that the drives don't match.
But I think like and you know, I have some people because I like to talk too, but some of that is not even about the physical act, it's mentally. Because females say, yo, if you don't got me mentally,
You don't got me.
You ain't got me.
Facts.
So
That's true.
it's
You
like, yo,
facts.
you know what I mean?
That's
If you don't get it
fire right
mentally,
there.
it's over, bro. It's
Facts.
over.
That is
So
very
that's before you even take the clothes off,
That's
baby.
facts.
So
Sex for women starts.
yeah,
in the
if you
mind.
ain't got that, it's a wrap.
Not
So
sex.
you gotta set it up.
Intimacy
Yeah.
starts there. Because sex doesn't start with them there. Sex is sex. Sex can be, you can have sex.
But you ain't getting that if you ain't got the mentally. Even if it's
If a joint want to smash, she gonna smash. Period.
Yeah.
And you don't gotta be here
Yeah, but
for
that
her.
shit-
If
yeah, I
she
think
wants to
there-
smash, she's gonna smash, and you don't gotta mentally stimulate her.
But that's a
She
joint.
just wants you.
But see,
No.
the question
That's
started
not
from
true.
someone that you intimate.
I disagree.
But that's what I'm talking about.
It's the difference between
When
a
Joint gonna
joint
smash, trust me,
and
she already in her mind.
Yeah.
She wanna
But
smash
she's,
already.
but you don't have nothing to do with that.
Yes, you
If
do.
in her mind,
Yes, you
no,
do.
you,
You have to do
listen,
what she wants. She
listen.
like,
Let me tell you
bro,
something. I don't walked in rooms, my dude, and
That's
it's
pride
sex.
talking.
But that's
That's
pride.
pride.
Let me-
That's pride talking.
Notice your podcast.
Let me tell you something.
Press the button.
Let me tell you something.
Hey,
Let me tell you something.
Did you see the pride that was raised up in
Yo,
you? Nah, when I walked in, listen, the reality is,
With his form fit
the reality is, when you walked in that room, she saw something she wanted to
yeah,
conquer.
that's what it is.
and I did nothing about that.
But that's a
But
man
that's
in
the-
her mind.
but that-
She already-
But that's what I'm saying.
We're
I
talking
had
about
nothing
her.
to do with that.
But we're talking
I didn't
about
have
her.
to
But no, you
stimulate
did.
her
You
mind.
did do
I just
something.
walked in the
You did.
room.
But that's
you are,
it.
bro.
You walked in. That's what you did to
Yeah.
her.
That's who you
I
are.
guess.
Walking, she was engaged.
And
When she saw
sometimes you
your-
do things and you don't
Yeah.
even know
You don't
that
even
you're
know,
doing
man.
it.
Facts.
Word, that's a
But
fact.
it started off when you with somebody cannot. You know what I'm saying? We didn't dare to wait to the joints.
We didn't
and-
want an hour though, King.
You know what I mean?
Come on, man.
Like,
Because I think
You did?
anybody would say, all right, if you can smash 10 joints, I'm smashing all 10.
Because now,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, because now it kind of flipped where females have taken on that, like, yo, I'm just going to get mines and, like, you know what I mean? So I do get that, but it originally started with when you in a relationship, can a dude, you know, just be happy with. And I do know some dudes, you know what I'm saying?